Thank you all for joining us tonight. We want to talk about a little bit about an introduction to a Checkered Giant. But what I want to start out with is I want to kill the illusion that a Checkered Giant is a mean rabbit or an aggressive rabbit or the devil rabbit. It's a rabbit, okay? They're a lot. Consider them a lively rabbit, okay? There's 49 breeds of rabbits out there besides these, and they all have an attitude in different ways. But if you go into judging these rabbits or handling these rabbits and you're afraid of them, you've got an instant problem, okay? Not to be caught, you need to be cautious and be careful handling them. That is for sure. But for you judges, what we want to do is handle these rabbits as least as you can. They don't need a lot of handling other than just flipping them over, checking for exams and for disqualifications and whatnot. And then you put them back in the holding coops. If you were here earlier, you saw where Peter put them back there. That's the best place. You can see more about a Checkered Giant in those holding coops than you can these or on a table that's shaky, okay? You can see a lot in there. You can see their type and their roundness, their length of limb. So less the handle, the better. What we look for in a Checkered Giant is length of body, bone, length of limb. This is an arched breed, correct? You want to see some daylight. You don't want to see any flatness. You want to see a rabbit up on their legs. You want good, strong ankles. This is a junior doe. She was best junior today. She's got a lot of bone. She carries herself quite well. She's got a lot of roundness to her. Getting back to handling, would anybody like to come up here and handle this rabbit?
So look, Mr. Danny hit it pretty well. You got to know what you're looking for whenever you're going to flip this rabbit over. Don't flip it over and then think, what do I need to look for? You need to know. You want this rabbit on its back as short an amount of time as possible. You don't want to be on your back with somebody poking you in the chest and the teeth and the toes. These, like he said, they're not an aggressive rabbit, but they are an aggravating rabbit. If you get to aggravating them and pestering them, then you've got problems. You want one that's got a little bit of attitude because they show off better. If one that's friendly is going to come out, crawl on the table, he just doesn't show himself and present well. One that's got a little bit of attitude, they're going to get out. They're going to be flashy. I love it when they stomp the table. Everybody does. When they start stomping and showing out, that's why we have a crowd of 50 people watching 10 of them be shown. If everybody knew how to properly flip one of these rabbits and touch them, a lot more people could raise them. They think they're going to get bit every time one of these hits the table. You walk up, you got to have confidence. You grab the rabbit, get your hand behind the ears just like any other, but you don't flip them with their feet towards you. The worst thing you can do is flip that rabbit towards you, because where's he going to kick? He's going to kick you in the face. Turn him to the side, hand under his chest, roll him back. See how easy it was? Check his teeth, check his toes, count them all, run down the belly, count the toes, check the sex, tail, done. Do not flip that rabbit over again. Do not touch that rabbit. When you get ready for it to go in the coop, get down here, get in front of it, open the door, run the rabbit in there. They'll go. They know what to do. Sometimes you get one might fly past it. It's all right. They'll turn around. This is a running breed. Let them run one extra time. You might see something you didn't the time before. I judged the Tiffin annual show in 2020. That was the first year I had my license. There was 165 of them. I had 27 black junior does, and when I got to the end, I had 3 left, and I let one out and said, how in the world did this rabbit make my top 5? I left her on the table, I sat down, she ran to the end, she hit the corner, she stood up, and I said, that's how. She won best opposite of breed out of 160 rabbits.
Did you ride them too much?
You can get them to a point that they've been out on the table and they're just done. And then when you need them to, for variety or best of breed, they're done. They're over it. They're tired. You've worn them out.
And you can get lost in what you're looking for.
Right.
Like I said earlier, before you got here, Jeff, you could see more back here in a holding coop, like a hare,
In the back.
a Brit, or a tan. They'll show themselves. You see that roundness, that fullness. Once we establish, we've done our inspection, you've looked at the rabbit a little bit, you've decided that you've got the body that you're looking for, where are you going to put that rabbit? Got the body, go put it in the top third of your class or in the bottom half of your class, right? So if you got the body, put them in the upper. Go through the whole class. Then you look for markings.
Right.
Okay,
When
there's
you
more
judge
points.
these,
There's more points on the body. We as breeders want a big bone rabbit with a lot of length, body, and a lot of daylight. This is an horse breed, remember that. Then you start adding your points on your markings. Balance. Head markings. Would you say she's a marked rabbit, a nice marked rabbit?
Yes, I think so. She can have a little bit more fork in her butterfly, but she's got
Yep.
clean eyes. So it's a little bit elongated in her cheek markings. I like her calf. It seems pretty clean for here. She's really clean and long calf.
One thing I see about judges sometimes, they'll stand right here and they'll look down there. Sometimes get it like that. Well, they're looking for width of body. I can see that. But we're talking about markings right now. If they got them back, we call them dirty britches, right? Some judges really cut them for dirty britches. That don't mean nothing to me.
you got to remember when you're judging them, when they come out of the coop, they're a white rabbit. Doesn't matter if they're black, blue, whatever. They're a white rabbit when they come out of that coop. The culls, the dogs that come out with weak ankles, dragging their butt, pinched hips, get them off the table. Don't ever let that rabbit make it in your back coop. When you get one that comes out that's full of bone, full hind quarter, gets up off the table well, get it in the back. Get it in the back and leave it there. Don't fool with it anymore. Usually your first impression is right because they're going to show off the best that first run down the table when they're fresh. Then you start coloring them in. Once you get two that are pretty close and tight, well, which one has a better butterfly? Which one has cleaner eye circles? Which one has rounder cheek spots? And I'm going to tell you, be honest, if I'm going to miss something on one of these, it's on the head. You could probably get away with a missing cheek spot with me because we're rolling past that head. It is neck back. That is what these rabbits are about. They are brick houses. This is a tank on wheels. Well, a hairy one with legs. They're going to come down, they're going to show out. That's how you want them built. A little fine-boned rabbit that comes down the table, flashy marking, slick coat. He does not carry the definition of Checkered Giant. Giant. Says it in the name. Giant. A little fine-boned rabbit running down this table on weak ankles is just not going to cut it. And people cut does slack. I don't. I want a doe like this, got big, thick front legs. I want her to look like a buck. I'd like them. Bucks win under me because I like a big, massive rabbit. This spring, I picked a junior doe at Nationals for best of breed. But when she came out, I swore, I just said, I'm going to flip this over. It's going to be a junior buck. Somebody has missexed this rabbit. I flipped her over. She was built like a New Zealand. You want a big, thick loin on them, a full hind quarter. And yes, coat is important, but texture. I've heard people get hung up on texture of coat on these. This is not a fur rabbit. A finished coat will show those markings off well. It will also show off the fullness through the loin and hind quarter well. A blotchy, unfinished coat's just not going to do it. I don't like rabbits, these senior does, sometimes as they get older. Everybody gets it. They start getting flabby in the middle. When you see one running at you and this is draping and flopping, you want them tight. You want them tight as a New Zealand. They can be. I know they can be, so that's why I want them that way. Let's see.
Some marking faults on these are heavy
Well, I
eye
said we all
circles,
get that way.
Yes. Pretty neat.
heavy cheek spots. we want clean, distinct markings. We don't want a lot of stray spots, spots forward, things like that. We want a clean mark. Some things that a lot of judges miss. These blacks have blue spots in them. You know, it's hard to see sometimes, but you got to watch for that.
They have what spots?
Blue spots. It's a DQ.
So in the black?
Oh yeah.
So it's just like in the mini Rex, how the broken blacks is popping
Yeah,
up with a
yeah.
lot of blue on their face.
Do they also have, will they have blue eyes? Will they start to have marble dye if they have blue? I mean, can you have that as well? Or
I
the
don't
eyes
think.
will
I
always
don't
be
know.
brown?
So like every once in a while back here on one of these side patches, they'll just, usually it always happens right on the edge. So if this was white, on the white of my coat, here's the patch, it'll be right on the edge. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find a blue spot. It's for some reason right on that white line, it wants to have blue. That's the only place that I've ever found them.
Breaks in the spine. That spine marking starts from the back of the ear to the tip of the tail. You'll see a lot of breaks on the tail, light tail color. Breaks, you got to read your standard. That's only 1/4 inch. Break. Leg spots in the front foot on the elbow. You might see that occasionally. One thing I have an issue with, some judges, what's the difference? What's a white lip? A white lip. Get that one.
See, but what he's talking about is you have to define white lip. These rabbits will get a frosted lip, so those guard hairs are fine on the lip.
Like the skin itself is dark and so
Right. When you flip that
White
rabbit
is white,
over,
and white is white.
Right.
White is that coat's a white lip.
when you flip this rabbit over,
No.
where they've got pink skin there, it'll start to frost. But that is not white hair. That is just guard hairs that are getting so fine
Right.
that with the light coming down on them, it just shines through. And it's really just like your hair. If you've got nice glossy hair, you're going to have a reflection on it. Well, that's thin. So it just shines through. It appears white. You have to decide. That is not a white lip. That is a frosted lip. Almost every black you're going to roll over is going to have a frosted lip.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big thing. Now, he was talking about spots on the elbows. You see those spots on that back ankle? That's only worth about a point or two. I've heard several judges say that they kicked the Checkered Giant out of Best in Show because it had spots on its back ankle. That is absolutely ridiculous. That doesn't do anything for me. That rabbit runs down the table, that's not even in my mind. Now, I will say, I saw one earlier. If they've got one out on their toes somewhere, that's a little distracting. But it's still only a point or two. It's not going to really affect my final decision. Distracting? Yes. But on the ankle? No. Just paint it white, roll on. Don't even worry about it.
You ask if you can run them too much, there's an example.
You get ready to go pick your best of breed. What happens when your favorite black junior doe that you ran to death doesn't want to move? Now, when you pick her because you know how good she looked earlier, the whole crowd's here to watch. And they see this rabbit laying down and they say, well, it doesn't even run. It's a running breed. That rabbit's laying down. That's why when you get it out and you say, oh, I love this rabbit, put it in the back. Just, you love it, put it in the back. Get it out one more time when you pick the class, put it in the back. Don't run them to death because you've got to sell your rabbit to the exhibitors as well. When I'm judging them, I know I can let mine out, sit down. Everybody will know that I picked what I believe to be the best rabbit, and they usually agree because they can see it. And these checkered people are the worst peanut gallery in the world.
I take exception to that.
They've got 2 notebooks full of what I say. They keep track.
There is one point I want to make to all of you on handling. And it's a pet peeve of mine. When I see somebody trying to hold this rabbit like this, you can't do that, okay? We don't mind you doing this. Let them smell your elbow and hold them like this, okay? I can walk probably all around the showroom like this. You start holding them by the belly, you got problems, okay? I mean, if it's a real quick, you know, from that table over, you feel confident. But just watch that belly hold. And that just, you'll get tore up. And
When I grab these
is
rabbits,
there any
to move
questions
them,
of what we did
if
so
I'm going
far?
table to table, this is how I tote them. I get them by the ears. I've got control of their head. I can bite Danny. Don't ever have their teeth facing you. I don't know where Luke went, but I saw him carry one over, and he had it held just like that, but it was turned around. That is the worst. The teeth are aimed at you. Y'all are worried about the teeth. Don't aim it at yourself.
This is true.
Aim it at Danny. Aim it at somebody you don't like. Just walk around. Get them. Do not put yourself in danger.
Any questions of what we did or said up to this point?
So can you have a white spot in the ear?
The ear?
No, on the ear.
On the ear, that's a DQ. If it's above a certain 3/4 and better, I think. Yeah.
Where's the book?
Yeah, where is it? We can look that up.
You got your book? We'll find out.
Huh?
On the ear.
We'll look it up.
Not have a black nail.
Right. Black toenails is out.
Yeah, checkered. I believe you can have a white spot on the ear. Spots, you cannot have a white spot on the upper.
Where would it be, Danny?
I don't think checkered doesn't.
Look, butterfly, white spots, and butterfly.
I know,
A strip of white along the lower edge of the lip.
White spots on the nose. Peter DQ'd one today. No.
Nope, here it is. Ear markings, faults, white spots on ears.
Only a fault. Okay. I thought I'd find out. I mean, I knew it.
Well, that was a good point, because
Yep.
I think I would have DQ'd it too. Thank you.
No, I knew that because I refereed.
I don't think I've ever DQ'd one for a white spot on the ear.
I've never seen
But
it.
I told you, if I'm gonna miss something on these, on the head, I am looking neck back. Usually, if they've got a DQ on their head, it's gonna jump out. Cause if you're walking down, you look at them. What are you looking at? Either their butt or their head. They can't lay sideways in that. And normally, when coming out of the coop, you do not want them facing away, because if you open it heads towards you, they're 9 times out of 10 gonna come on out. If you've got to pull him back, he's gonna fight and kick and squall. But once he's out, he's okay.
Guys, what we wanted to get across today, you can read your standard, your judges, your breeders.
And you saw how easy we grabbed him. You just
Yeah.
don't be scared. If you walk up and you shake it, just walk up, grab him. Grab him, get a hand on him. Be confident, be firm. Don't whip them, but be firm. They're okay. Tough
Good.
rabbit. Be firm with them. Be decisive with them. Don't fool around. Get done what you got to get done. Put them up.
Okay.
What you,
Can I make a comment?
yeah?
We want new judges. We want people that are excited about judging. We will help you. We want new people. We are not that bad, despite what he says.
So I'm the checker kid. You see who taught me. They'll
We
teach
tried.
everybody. Now they'll write down some trashy things you say, but they won't ever let you forget about not placing my rabbit second or first or whatever. Why'd he get 2 classes and I got 1? But they love each other.
Yeah, we
They'll
do.
love y'all. They want you. They want you to come judge their rabbits.
We
This
really,
is
really
true.
do. I mean that from the right here.
They want you to
We
raise their
want
rabbits.
people that,
If
you
your
know,
little kid
be
says,
there.
I want one of those rabbits, oh, that's mean, that's a bad rabbit. There's more little kids toting them around, kissing them, hugging them, than these old farts.
And look at the girls that are here.
Right.
Look at the girls that are here right now. A lot of our youth breeders are girls. A lot of our other breeders are girls. The girls love them, so don't be afraid.
So y'all hear that, boys? The girls love them.
Let me tell you a cute story. Jeff?
That's
Jeff,
right.
let me tell you a cute story. Rhode Island, I had best of breed with the most aggressive checkered giant I've ever had in my life. Tim Branham couldn't handle it, put it in the cage, picked the best of breed. Looked at it one time. Scotty Wells and I went to this lady to buy something to calm that rabbit down for best in show. It was in a glass eyedropper. I flipped her over. Scotty stuck the glass vial in her mouth, and what did that rabbit do? bit it in half and swallowed it. I said, Scotty, I think we just killed that rabbit. Well, she made it through the day. I had to go to Best in Show in our group. I put it in a carrier like we always do with Checkered Giants, took it up there. The group judge was this guy right here, and I said, oh shit, I'm in deep trouble. He picked that rabbit up, she copped an attitude, he put her right back down. I went, okay, you know, I don't know if you remember that or not.
I remember one that I took out on the stage, and there's 3 other colleagues of mine, and the rabbit I turned loose, it took off like a bat out of hell. And I kept trying to catch it, and I go down to the other end, and my colleagues, would they help me? No, they got so low to their rabbits, they were sniffing their rabbits' butts, you know. And finally, I caught the darn thing, and our Doug King goes, maybe I should help Dr. Dick, you know. And so everyone was laughing, and I caught it, and I said to the rabbit, "You're a loser." And then Doug got his first rabbit out. It was an American Fuzzy Lop, and he went like this, and it hit the second row audience out there, and the curtain was there, and the guy standing there. I didn't know the microphone was on, and I said, boy, doesn't God answer prayers quickly.
But anyway, I warned the whole stage, the whole crew, I'm not responsible. Yeah, that's a, you know, it's a rabbit, okay? It's a lively rabbit, you know, that's why we have so much fun with them. But anyway.
You can also see the difficulty that we have as breeders when we go to shows and some of the equipment is not appropriate for judging. That's too narrow, they can't turn, and
This is what scares them.
Senior does and senior bucks. The tables are wobbly, so even when Best in Show comes up, and they're on a table that has a void, because you see we always have coops behind it. They get on a table that's wobbly and a void, and they crouch down.
They're done.
So they need time to warm up just as much as any running breed. So that's one of our bugaboos that we're trying to improve.
And not the token look, the 30-second, and it's back in the carrier.
Just give it a fair shot.
Well, thank you, Mr. David, for videoing, Miss Emily. Hopefully somebody learned something. And we get these checker people some more judges, because
Just
they
feel
wear me out.
comfortable. You've judged them a lot of times, Tracy. Susan's starting to judge quite a few of them. Just, hey, it's a lively rabbit. Don't go into them, oh God, I got the Checkered Giant. So you'll be all right.